You need to think outside the box a little bit. You have to challenge yourself and remember that when you're on your way down that you're going to see everybody that you saw on the way up and that you hopefully can look at them in the eyes. I went to England when I was 16 years of age because the coaching and the development is so much further on in Europe that you need to get over there as soon as you possibly can.
I got spotted and say, you got to look at this kid. Craig, I think, was the same. You have to, this kid needs to come over to Ipswich and you got to look at him. It was unusual for any player to do that. Not many did it.
Just being a Canadian put into an environment that was predominantly British was a challenge, and you had to be better than any of the English players, or at least as good as them, to get an opportunity, because Canada didn't have a cultural history in the sport of soccer, and that really put me on the back foot right away.
He stuck with it, and like he does, he digs deep, and he wanted to make it, and he made it.
You're dealing with an individual as a goalkeeper, which of course perhaps doesn't have the same glamour as the forward, but my goodness, he brought some swagger to it.
His agility was a thing that really, I thought, stood out. Shot stopping, which is the thing he's got to do the best. He used to get down to shots that you couldn't believe he could get down to because he was so athletic. He's one of the top Canadian players, and to be one of the top players and then be one of the top broadcasters is pretty good.
Starting off really well is so important.
He faced some adversity with the cancer, and I think at that point he made a decision to step away from the game, and that's when he pursued his other career. Well, there in itself is a massive challenge.
But when I heard about it, was scary. And I think that anybody who obviously knows Craig, he doesn't say much, and he didn't really say much about it, just got on with it.
You really see some true character in an individual. He fought his way through this, and we see him today as a survivor and thriving, and still thriving as a sportscaster, and still a very prominent part of the soccer community in Canada.
He's been dangerous tonight, and he sets up for a left foot, and another save from Forrest.
There are a lot of soccer fans across the country don't realize just what a commitment it is to play for Canada. We'd be playing in Mexico City, and you have to fly back via LA, Toronto, London, just to get back for a game on the weekend.
By the time we got to the final against Colombia, we felt pretty confident that we could play at our very best and maybe beat one of the top teams in the world to win the Gold Cup. And stars seemed to align, and we did incredibly well. And it was one of the most special moments, not only in my professional career, but in my life, really.
He just understood the game, understood what it takes to play, and presented himself in that way, every way, shape, and form.